In other industry news, NCBA's Washington, D.C. office is gearing up to renew the fight against the death tax. In this week's Cattlemen's Capital Concerns, we hear what some members of Congress are saying about this critical issue.
I'm not urging anyone to pass away, but if they do, the way the laws are, they'd want to do it prior to December 31st of 2010, because during 2010 the estate tax goes away completely, which I believe the death tax is a very unfair tax. The bad news is, if you happen to survive into the early morning hours of January of 2011, all the taxes come back. The entire estate tax come back. And I've had this sad experience even with our own family. My cousins on my mother's side who were forced to sell their ranch in order to pay the taxes. And we all know of examples like that. And it's not just ranching, it's small businesses, it's a number of areas. So this is very important to us. But right now, the budget that came out from the Obama administration, and Democrats in the House and the Senate would have the death tax come completely back, restored on January 1 of 2011. It's something I urge all of our listeners, all of our ranchers, to continue making sure their representative is aware of how devastating this would be to the economy, to them, and to push for us to permanently do away with the death tax.
Something has to be done, because it's not going to go back to where it was before. The Obama budget has it going to 3.5 million exemption. We've tried to do better than that over the last several years, and have not had the bipartisan cooperation we needed to get it fixed. So my sense is that this is the year that if the Obama budget is the beginning, that we'll be able to try to move beyond that and get a larger exemption. Having it repealed 100% is not possible because of the cost to the Treasury, and so at least increasing the level of the exemption will, I think, do two things. One, it'll be a better tax, a fairer tax, and secondly, it'll give some degree of predictability so that people aren't having to joke, well, maybe I have to die this year because I can't die next year under the estate tax. That sort of lack of predictability sometimes makes good humor, but it certainly doesn't make good estate planning.
We don't know yet on the death tax where it's going to end up. What we know is that next year it goes away for a year, then pops right back in its ugliest, worst form. And our goal is to get a resolution, to get it solved, not just to freeze it where it is today on the $3.5 million exemption and the 45% tax rate. That's way, way too high. But to find some resolution, either permanently repeal it or basically exempt 99.9% of Americans from ever having to phase that tax. That's our main priority on the tax side.
We'll hear from other members of Congress and learn more about their views on the death tax on the next edition of NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen. The National Cattlemen's Beef Association works hard every day on Capitol Hill to represent the best interest of cattlemen across the country. To join the National Cattlemen's Beef Association today, call 1-866-USA-BEEF or visit beefusa.org. Joining is a great investment in your future and the future of your operation.